Namaskar. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Aradhya, the Gateway of Knowledge. This video is the first part of India's road to Swadeshi, in which we will be primarily discussing about Mission Make in India and Mission Vocal for Local.
So let's start the video with the pre-independence Swadeshi 1.0 movement. 115 years ago, an anti-colonial movement was launched in India. This was the famous Swadeshi movement.
However, the philosophical base of this movement lies within the period 1850 to 1904. During this period, leaders like Dadabhai Naoroji, Gokhale, Ranade, Tilak ignited the fire of economic nationalism. The famous drain theory of Dadabhai Naoroji provided the backdrop of the great Indian Swadeshi movement. It started as an anti-partition movement in 1905 when Lord Curzon, the then Viceroy of India, announced the partition of Bengal. The movement lasted till 1917 and emerged as the most powerful and successful of pre-Gandhian movements. The chief architects were Aurobindo Ghosh, Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, etc. The movement got further strengthened under the charismatic leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. He upholded Swadeshi as a soul of Swaraj and a strategy to make India self-reliant. Soon, Charkha and Khadi became not only household names, but also instruments of Swadeshi in India.
The ideology behind this movement was to hit the British Empire at its root, that is, to dismantle their economy.
Soon it was followed by boycott movement all across the country. Thus, the idea behind the movement was
A. Boycott of foreign-made goods, and B. Promotion of self-made goods or Swadeshi. Also called as Vande Mataram movement, it aimed at boosting indigenous economy and employment among Indians.
Now let us talk about Swadeshi 2.0 or Neo Swadeshi Movement, which is basically Post-Independence Swadeshi Movement.
Year 2020 witnessed two major events which gave a propelling force to the Neo Swadeshi movement or Swadeshi 2.0. First was the spread of deadly coronavirus, which brought the entire world economy at standstill. Even the developed countries like US, UK found it really difficult to withstand its disastrous effect. The virus gave its deadly call in India in early 2020, with first confirmed case coming up in Kerala. Since then, all government efforts were being diverted to contain this fatal virus spread. The corona pandemic and the consequent nationwide lockdown and mandated social distancing had not only hit our economy at the base, but has also raised an important question. Can there be an alternative economic model which will neither push ourselves into a new cycle of economic depression post-pandemic, nor will be environmentally detrimental? Year 2020 also saw another development which is going to have a deeper international ramification. While the entire world was fighting the pandemic, China, the source and epicenter of this deadly virus, was carrying forward a pernicious conspiracy. On June 15, 2020, Chinese troops with malicious intent violated the line of actual control in Galwan Valley of eastern Ladakh. The border tension escalated, and in a violent face-off, 20 Indian Army personnel were martyred. This created a nationwide uproar and anger against Chinese establishment. The Chinese violation at the border opened up the question on Chinese hegemony in trade and our dependence on Chinese goods. 136 crore people started asking, what unique India will do now other than showing the dragon our military prowess and diplomatic prudence?
Well, the answer to these questions lies in a new economic model based upon self-reliance and Swadeshi. History has repeated itself. These adverse situations and events have offered India a chance to exhibit the strength of Swadeshi to the world.
What we did some 170 years ago needs to be repeated, but this time with new face and manifestations. It's now time for Swadeshi 2.0 or Neo Swadeshi movement. The clarion call of this Neo Swadeshi movement is be vocal about local and make them global.
This is the new alternative economic model called Swadeshonomics.
Though this new economic model got momentum within the above cited situation, yet the historic baton of Swadeshi was carried forward with the launch of Make in India mission way back in 2014.
The road to economically self-reliant Bharat got a boost with the launch of ambitious Make in India mission in 2014. Let us look into the project under the following heads: motto, philosophy, aim, and pillar. Now let us discuss the philosophy behind Mission Make in India.
The philosophy behind this mission finds its resonance in pre-independence reign of wealth theory, where raw materials were exported from India to Britain at cheap price and machine-made finished goods were flooded in Indian market, thereby systematically dismantling the indigenous industries. Dadabhai Naoroji argued to stop this reign of wealth, and this became the core philosophy behind Swadeshi 1.0 movement. Make in India mission also rests on this principle of economic nationalism and directs the manufacturing of products in India only. The Modi regime had tried to create a new model of Swadeshonomics with Make in India mission as the first step. At the time when India was tagged as member of Fragile Five, this was a revolutionary step by the government to rejuvenate Indian economy. The mission aimed to encourage entrepreneurs and industrialists to set up their manufacturing units in India through FDI in order to transform India into a global manufacturing hub.
Now let us discuss about the aim of Make in India mission. Number 1, to raise the contribution of manufacturing sector to 25% of the country's GDP. Number 2, to promote foreign direct investment. Number 3, to implement intellectual property right. Number 4, to facilitate job creation. Number 5, to foster innovation. And lastly, number 6, to enhance skill development. Now let us talk about the logo of Make in India, that is a lion made of gear wheels. This itself reflects the integral role of manufacturing in national development.
It is also important to explore the pillars of Make in India mission. There are basically 4 pillars of this mission. 1. New sector, which are 25 in number. Number 2. New processes, basically to invite FDI, to foster business partnership, and to improve India's ranking in ease of doing business. Third, new mindset. This means Government of India will now be seen more a facilitator than just a regulator. This mission aimed at cultivating a new mindset, thus bringing a paradigm shift in the relation between government and private sector. Both public and private sector will now be seen as partners of economic growth. The fourth pillar is the creation of new infrastructure by developing industrial corridors, smart cities, research and development, fast-paced registration system, infrastructure for intellectual property right registrations, training mechanisms for the skilled workforce, investment, ease of doing business, and global startup connections. The quest for Swadeshi further led to the launch of Mission Vocal for Local in year 2020. Let's see what PM Modi said in his address to nation on May 12, 2020.
साथियों, कोरोना संकट ने हमें लोकल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, लोकल मार्केट, लोकल सप्लाई चेन, इसका भी महत्व बराबर समझा दिया है। संकट के समय में लोकल ने ही हमारी डिमांड पूरी की है, हमें इस लोकल ने ही बचाया है। लोकल सिर्फ जरूरत नहीं, बल्कि हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है। समय ने हमें सिखाया है कि लोकल को हमें अपना जीवन मंत्र बनाना ही होगा। आपको आज जो ग्लोबल ब्रांड्स लगते हैं, वो भी कभी ऐसे ही बिल्कुल लोकल थे। लेकिन जब वहां के लोगों ने उनका इस्तेमाल शुरू किया, उनका प्रचार शुरू किया, उनकी ब्रांडिंग की, उन पर गर्व किया, तो वो प्रोडक्ट्स लोकल से ग्लोबल बन गए। वो प्रोडक्ट्स लोकल से ग्लोबल बन गए। इसलिए आज से हर भारतवासी को अपने लोकल के लिए वोकल बनना है। लोकल के लिए वोकल बनना है। न सिर्फ लोकल प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदने हैं, बल्कि उनका गर्व से प्रचार भी करना है।
PM's call to the nation that day came as a sunrise for a new day. As mentioned before, the COVID-19 pandemic has tested our efficiencies. It has taught us that we are efficient enough to be self-sufficient. We can shed off our dependencies wherever possible in this era of globalization. It is time to capitalize on our own innovation and skills. The Chinese skimmerish in June 2020 further made our resolution of Swadeshi and self-reliance more stronger. We are 70% dependent on global brands for consumer goods, in which Chinese good dominates tremendously. Now the bigger question is, why local economies are not making business? The answer is the lack of demand, due to which they are not able to use economies of scale to boom their business. Also, global supply chains are dominated by China. So till we do not generate demand, improve our quality, generate economies of scale, the slogan "Go Swadeshi, Buy Swadeshi" will just be a mere slogan. At the same time, we need to cut Chinese dominated supply chain and replace it by ours. It's time we need to be vocal for local, make resolution to buy local, thus making local global. This would be a step in the direction of Atmanirbhar or self-reliant India.
The call for Swadeshi was coupled with the resolution to boycott Chinese goods and services. The government of India took several bold steps as shown, including banning of 59 Chinese applications, thus manifesting a strong stand against China.
So now let's find out the philosophy behind Mission Vocal for Local. First, in the post-COVID world, India seems to emerge as a global nerve center and crucial supply chain hub. We thus need to seize this opportunity. Second, it is often argued that there has been inefficient utilization of countries' available resources till now. So this could be the best step to utilize domestic resources. Third, also there is a need to revive those local industries that were neglected in the era of globalization. Fourth, the underlying philosophy, therefore, of this mission is to make a convergence between economic nationalism and globalization. And lastly, the philosophy behind this mission is to make growth both pro-people as well as sustainable.
Now coming to the aim of this mission. The mission, Vocal for Local, aims to, number one, make as many products in India rather than importing them. Number two, it aims to encourage the use of these locally made products. Number three, the objective of this mission is thus to generate greater employment opportunities for the Indian masses.
Number 4, the mission also aims to ensure huge inflows of foreign capital coupled with increased local private investments. And lastly, it aims to cut the Chinese dominated supply chain and replace it with ours. The outcome of the mission Vocal for Local would be phenomenal. Firstly, the mission will lead to efficient utilization of countries' talent and resources while manufacturing a product. Secondly, it will help in promoting domestic manufacturers, entrepreneurs, startups. This will also provide greater opportunities for local brands to compete with foreign products. Thirdly, the mission will help local manufacturers to raise their standard of products as well. Another outcome of this mission will be to strengthen indigenous and local brands among the consumers so that they may become global brands. And lastly, This mission will lead to generation of employment opportunities for the Indian masses. It is believed that this mission will definitely take the country towards a more positive direction, a more sustainable, employment-driven and pro-people growth.
In this way, we can say that India has demonstrated an entirely new alternative economic model to the world. This is called Swadeshonomics. Well, this new model of Swadeshonomics will be unique in many ways.
It will be devoid of the ills of liberalization and exploitative aspect of globalization, wherein the subaltern and vulnerable sections are excluded from mainstream economy. This Indian model of globalization, on the contrary, would be more inclusive and pro-poor. It will be an attempt to rebuild the ancient Indian principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or the world is one family, wherein the basis of every relation will be equality, compassion and partnership rather than inequality, competition and assertion.
We can conclude by saying that both the missions, Make in India and Vocal for Local, taken together can help India progress towards the path of self-reliance or Atmanirbharta.
The very fact that India has become the world's second largest manufacturer of PPE body coverall within a short span of 2 months holds testimony to our resolution of becoming an Atmanirbhar Rashtra. However, all this will definitely take some time and huge effort from both government as well as civil society. Thanks for watching our video. Please join us for the second segment of this video, that is Challenges to Mission Vocal for Local.
If you want us to keep making such informative videos, please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Aradhya, the Gateway of Knowledge.
Till then, goodbye, take care and stay safe.